Good morning student and welcome to the teaching session of Academic World School. Today we are going to read the first chapter of biology, that is the fundamental unit of life. The fundamental unit of life, that is cell. Cell is the fundamental unit of life. When this word comes, what is the things what relate you? Firstly, the cell, when I talk in general terms, we can think about the thing that like cell phones or even the battery also, it is also called a cell. But in biology, the cell term means the building block of living organism. This cell is the building block of organisms, I can write. Now, these cells are called building block. Here the term is building. How you can correlate this cell with this building? See, when we talk about building, it means that you can think that you are having a home, right? If I draw simply the house, so you can see that the houses which are near to you, or the school buildings also, when there is different, I can say the wings like junior wing, senior wing, the buildings are there, that is constructed. Similar to that, these buildings will be made up of the blocks. I am just drawing the simplified building structure to make you understand. So these are the two buildings, and these buildings, if I draw one more diagram to tell how these buildings are constructed. So these buildings are having the walls, and that has been made with the help of bricks. Bricks are the unit. If I tell this one, this only one, this is the block. So this block is the brick, which is one unit. From that complete building is being constructed. And I told you to correlate this term and think that if you observe near to your home, what different kind of buildings you can observe. If I say your home and your neighbor's home, it might be different. It is not similar. Yes, the buildings are being constructed with the bricks, but it's not similar. Likewise, dear student, the cell which is making up the organism all around us are different. Those are not a very simple structure, and they look very much different. If I say I, you, even all the human beings, animals, birds, insects, there are so many organisms, all look so different, but they are all made up of cell. Cell is the basic unit from which any individual or living organism are made up of. So I think this concept of cell is clear to you all. Coming to the definition, what is a cell? So before writing the definition, let me tell you, in this class, today you will be reading about the introduction of the cell, then the theories, how the information about cell is known to you all. So there are certain people who are involved for this, we will be discussing that, and then the classification of organisms based on number of cells. Now, coming to the cell. Cell is the simple, I can say, or basic also. Cell is the simple, I will write basic term here because it's the initial thing what is present. So cell is the basic structural, functional and unit considered as living thing. It means this cell is the most smallest thing, most smallest part which is considered to be the living thing and it is said to be the building block of life. So I told you the definition that it is a basic structural, functional and biological unit of all known living organism. Then it is the simplest unit, I can say, of the simplest thing to be called living, and these are considered as building block of life. So cell is the basic structure from which all the organism, whatever you are observing that is alive, they are all made up of basic unit, that is cell. Now we are discussing about cell. We all are made up of cell. But how the cell was discovered? Who has brought the term cell to us? So for this, I hope you are taking the notes. Write all the notes in your notebook and do follow up all the things what I am telling here. Discovery of cell. The cell which is present in our body, it was discovered by a person, that is Robert Hooke, and he discovered this in 1665. He is an English scientist who was around 26-year-old, too young in the 1600, you can imagine. Now it's 2020. Long back in 1600, he has tried to, I can say, invent a very, different thing at that time, because microscope was not available. He was the first person who has made a simplified microscope. He has made what? Simplified microscope, which is also called as a primitive microscope, because he has used only two lenses to make that microscope, and he was able to observe the things with more magnification during that time, 1665, you can imagine. So now he has made the microscope. What he has observed, how he came to the conclusion that cell is there? He was having a bottle, right? Bottle like this, and these bottles were having cork. It means it was the cap part which was present. So this cork was used for the bottle, and this was made up of wood. Nowadays even the rubber cork are also available. So he was working in a place where these type of bottles were available and it was covered with the cork. So what he did, he took that cork and he tried to view the pieces of this cork. He has took the piece of this cork and he has tried to observe under the microscope, and he has observed under his self-made microscope that there was some structures which was like this. That was a very simple microscope, so not much thing was it was looking like honeycomb structure. Honeycomb, like you might have seen the honeybee, how they make their home and where they live. It's like a net-like structure, all connected. In similar way, he has observed the honeycomb structure where the wall was visible to him, and he called the other things as empty spaces. And he named that empty space, or he named that spaces, I can say simply, as cell. This cell is coined by Robert Hooke, and in Latin this cell means a little room. In Latin, the cell means a little room. Now you are aware of the term cell. The discovery of the cell was done by Robert Hooke in 1665. He has used the cork cell to observe. He has used the cork to observe the cell, and it was honeycomb in structure. Now it is clear to you that the cell, what is it? Who has discovered the cell? Now, he has observed the cell in the dead part of the wood. It was not the living cell. So, he was the first person, but later on there are certain other discoveries which has lead to the, like giving the information about the cell, what are present in it, and what type of cell are there in different organisms. Now, do take notes simultaneously and try to understand it. So Robert Hooke was the first person who used this cork to observe the cell in the primitive microscope. Now we will be learning about the evolution of cell theory. What are the different evolution and who has given it? Evolution of cell theory. Means for the cell, what are the major characters which are exhibited by the cell, and the living organism, how we will tell that cell is the basic unit for all living organisms, how these things came to us. So firstly, Robert Hooke, as I told you, in the year that is 1665, he has discovered cell, and he has coined the term cell. After the discovery of cell, there is one more scientist who has identified the living cell in the pond water. He is Anton von Leeuwenhoek. Anton von Leeuwenhoek, he has given the idea that Anton von Leeuwenhoek has given the idea of the living cells, how they look like, and he was the first person to observe. He observed living cell. He observed the living cell in the pond water. Then even he studied and identified the sperms also in different organisms like frog, insects, humans, and all that. So the living cell study was first done by Anton von Leeuwenhoek, and that discovery with what he did, it was done by the microscope which was modified by him. Earlier primitive microscope was made by Robert Hooke, and then this Anton von Leeuwenhoek, he modified the microscope, and then he observed the living cell. These are the two persons who has contributed for the discovery of cell. Then a cell, when we talk, I told it's the building block. So simply if I draw, this cell will be having inside the nucleus part, and this is the cytoplasm. This is plasma membrane. This is nucleus. In any cell, we will observe three major parts, that is nucleus, plasma membrane and cytoplasm. So these three will be surely present over there. Now, this nucleus was discovered by Robert Brown. So the third person is Robert Brown. In 1831, he discovered nucleus. So this nucleus was discovered by Robert Brown, and then we came to know that yes, inside the cell there is also the nucleus which is present. After the discovery of all this, in the year that is 1839, Purkinje, in the year that is 1839, he has discovered, or he has given the information about protoplasm. He was the person who has coined the term protoplasm. Protoplasm means, as I have drawn one diagram, right? So inside that plasma membrane, cytoplasm was there and even the nucleus was there. So all the fluid part is called protoplasm in the cell. So this Purkinje has coined the term protoplasm. And next, two person has given the cell theory. This was also done in 1839. Selden and Swan in 1839, they have given cell theory. And then there is one more scientist, that is Virchow. In around 1855, he has generalized one statement. His generalization was omnicellula e cellula. It means all new cells arise from pre-existing cell. So this is the person who has told that all new cells arise from the pre-existing cell. None of the cell will arise from anywhere when there is no base for it. Always the new evolution, if I say, if any individual is evolving, if new organisms are getting formed, new species are formed, any new thing will be formed from the pre-existing thing. So he is the person who told that all new cells arise from the pre-existing cell. That is, his statement was omnicellula e cellula. Cellula is the same, that is the cell. It is the same word for the cell. So after seeing these, discoveries, what we can think that simultaneously nothing was done. First, the discovery of the primitive microscope was done, and he was able to observe the cork to tell that all the living organisms are made up of certain unit, which is cell. And then Anton von Leeuwenhoek, what he did? He was the first person to observe the living cell. Then came the Robert Brown, who has discovered the nucleus. Then the Purkinje, who has given the term protoplasm for the fluid substances inside the cell. Then Skelton and Swan, in 1839, they have given the cell theory, which we will be going through. And then Virchow in around 1855 told that all the cells arise from the pre-existing cell. So these are certain evolution which has led to the information about the cell. So now whatever information we are having and the discoveries that has been taking place, it has helped the people to gradually understand about the cell, how the cell look like, what are the cell, what are the part of it. So now we will be studying the cell theory. Which was given by Skelton and Swan in 1839. So they have given this cell theory. So when we talk about the cell theory, what we should know that cell is the structural and functional unit of life. So that is the first theory about the cell, that cells are the structural and functional unit of life. Cells are the functional, or I can say cells, because our body are composed of many cells. So cells are the structural and functional unit of life. What process is happening in the body? Just you think, what we do? We breathe. Then our heart is present, which is beating continuously just to pump the blood all over the body. Right? Then there are kidneys, which is filtering the blood. There is excretory system for the removal of the waste or the toxic substance from the body. So if we just imagine about humans also, you just think how many processes are happening inside. So these cells are the basic unit which are getting formed in the, which are present in the body, and they are forming different tissues. Tissues means the group of cell, and then from the group of cell there will be the organ formation in the body, and each organ are specifically working inside our body. So cell is the basis of the structure, how we look like, or how you see all the living organism around you look like. So it is the basis of any structure and how we are performing, or how the parts inside our body is performing. These all will be done with the help of cell only. Cell is responsible for all this thing. This is the first cell theory, right? That the cell are structural and functional unit of life. Now, the second one is all organisms are made up of cells. All organisms are made up of cells. So, structural functional unit of life it is, and all the living organisms will be composed of cell, which is the statement I am also telling you people, that all the living organisms are known till date, they are all having cell. And the third cell theory is that all cells arise from the pre-existing cells. All cells arise from the pre-existing cells only. So these are the three cell theories which says that how all the living organisms body are made up of cell, and all the cells, they are from the pre-existing cell, which already I have explained also. So do take the note of this, that these are the three cell theory. Fine. Now moving to the other topic, that how the organisms will be based on the number of cell. The classification of living organism based on the number of cell. Classification of organisms based on number of, classification of organism based on number of cells. Now all the organisms are made up of cell. Now you know very well. Now coming to the number of cell, means an individual organism, if they are made up of cell, how many cells will be present in them? So on the basis of that, there will be the unicellular organism, and there will be multicellular organisms. Unicellular organism and multicellular organism based on the number of cells. So here I will tell you the characteristic of both in the forms that you can understand and even compare both the type of organism. Here the word is unicellular. Uni means one, right? And multi means many, means one cell is present in the organism. So what we will write here? The body is made up of only single cell. The body is made up of only single cell, and here the body is made up of more than one cell. This is unicellular and multicellular. So here this organism will be composed of only one cell, and here the organism will be composed of many cells, more than one cell. Now coming to the second point for this, unicellular organism having only one cell. Now you can imagine one cell, and I was listing you some of the activities which is done inside our body, right? So there are certain activities which has to be done by this unicellular and the multicellular organism. Since this unicellular is having only one cell, so here they are having only one cell, so the activities of organisms are done by single cell only. Okay. So what I told you, they are having only one cell, so the activities here, I hope you are able to see this. Listen to me carefully here. they are having only one cell, so the activities of organisms are done by single cell only. Whatever their life process is there, they will be done by only single cell. And here in this, I am putting arrow mark for the point. Here one cell will be performing one activity. Not all activities will be performed here by the single cell. More than one cell is required for doing the activities of organisms. Now when we are talking about activities, that how much work will be done, here it will be done by only single cell. So since one cell is performing all the work, there is no division of labor. No division of labor. Only single cell has to perform all this, right? So no work is divided in the other cells. They only have to do all this. But since there are more than one cell present, so the division of labor will be there. Division of labor is present I can say, or labor, this division of labor is done. Division of labor is done because there is more than one cell. So specifically, like I was telling you, the heart, it will only pump the blood in the body of human. The kidney, it will only filter the blood, and it will help for the excretion process. The respiration, lungs are there. So different organs, different parts are there, different type of cells are there for this. Now, coming to the reproduction, this unicellular organism, it is one single cell. So, organism is consumed for reproduction. Organism is consumed for reproduction. One organism will be there, that organism will be, that organism will be only dividing for the reproduction process. If I have to list the example like amoeba, the irregular organism, when it divides, what happens? The inside material, nucleus and their body also get divided, and there is formation of two daughter amoeba. So you can see the parent amoeba was there. Now the parent has divided into two daughter cells. So there is no parent. So whole organism is consumed for the reproduction process. And this is the way of reproduction in this. Now coming to the reproduction in this multicellular organism, reproduction is with the help of germ cells. Here the germ cells means the gametes. Like in the plant, if I tell, pollen grain is there and even the egg cell is there in the flower. And in the humans there is sperm and ova. So those are the germ cell or the gametes which will lead to the reproduction process. So here reproduction is with the help of germ cell. Now coming to the example, what are the examples we can list here? In unicellular organism, as I have drawn one diagram also, you will understand amoeba is the one. Then paramecium, it is also single celled organism and its structure is slipper shaped. And they are having the layer-like structure. This is paramecium, and it has also the nucleus inside the body. Single cell organism. Amoeba, paramecium. Even Chlamydomonas is also there, which is single cell organism. Euglena is also there. Euglena. It is also single cell, and its structure is like this, having a flagella for the movement and the nucleus inside the body. Amoeba structure already I told how it is, irregular shape and the nucleus inside it. These are the example of unicellular organism. Coming to the multicellular organism, here the example will be plants. They are all multicellular, even animals, birds, fishes, humans. These are all multicellular organisms. So, they are all students. In today's online teaching session of biology, you have learnt about the cell and about the discovery of the cell. Then, you have also understood what is cell theory and the classification of organism based on the number of cells, that is unicellular organism and multicellular organism. Now, after understanding all this, do complete the assignment which will be uploaded in ERP, and you need to do that assignment because it will be your, that will be a kind of assessment also for periodic 1 test. Thank you.